Right, upper session ticked off, and as you can probably tell by the state of my head, it was a very good session. I feel very, what's the word? I feel very accomplished after that. It was a good session, man. Everything progressed, to be fair. Apart from overhead press, I do a flat press and I do an overhead press, and overhead work for me, I've always been pure like, what's the right way to say it, like not scared of overhead pressing, but at the same time it's like the thought of something being over my head and I'm like, I don't know, it's like a pure mental block, but at the same time it's like it's always a lot heavier, which makes sense. At the end of the day, your delts aren't as big as your chest, you know what I mean? So like you're not going to feel as strong, but flat pressing, incline pressing, I always feel pure like spot on, feels really good. Comes to any kind of overhead press, I'm like, But at the same time, I maintained, so can't complain too much. Everything else, like back work, every little bit of chest work, arm work. Apart from overhead press, my side delt, lateral raise progressed, so everything was going up. So at the same time, I'm getting leaner, I'm getting lighter, and I'm getting stronger. So as far as I'm concerned, I'm probably still growing just now. Obviously not at a pure like rapid rate. Like if I was gaining like say 0.2 to 0.4 kg a week, getting consistently stronger, yeah, I'd be gaining like a lot more muscle than I am just now. But at the same time, like people forget, like when you're in a dieting phase, you can still build muscle. Like as soon as you start dieting, doesn't mean like, oh, you can't build any more muscle, that's just you, you're stopping, you're trying to maintain your muscle or you're losing muscle. It's simple as that. Like that's not the case by any means whatsoever. Like if you're dieting correctly, you're getting stronger week in, week out, you are still growing. As far as I'm concerned, you are still definitely growing. If it comes to the point where, say for example, every single week you are regressing your sets and you're like losing reps or you're having to drop load to maintain the weight, which believe it or not will happen eventually anyway. Like as you get incredibly lean, obviously you don't have as much body fat surrounding your muscle tissue, so you're not going to feel as stable. Obviously you won't feel as strong due to less stability, all that kind of stuff, but like your first like 10-12 weeks of dieting, like you should be feeling still relatively pretty good. I mean, I'm 6 weeks in now, and like every week I've got stronger and I'm actually feeling better. I'm feeling more productive, I'm feeling more energized, I'm just feeling like a lot more complete, if that makes sense. So don't start your diet and automatically think, right, okay, that's me on less food now and a bit more cardio, so I'm going to lose my muscle here. Like, nah, if you tell yourself and kind of just accept that sort of reality, which isn't actually the reality anyway, you will lose muscle or you will regress your sets every week. Like, there's no point going into a session being negative. Like, you'd be better off just not going to the gym, to be honest. Like, there's no point. Obviously, there is a point. I'm just saying, like, that's a bit of an exaggeration, but you know what I mean? If you're going into your sessions and you're just pure like half-assing it, like, oh, I'm going to lose muscle anyway, so what's the point? Like, you'll just feel shit, you'll lose muscle, you'll lose reps, you'll have to drop the load, all that kind of stuff. Like, I went in every single session for the past 6 weeks with the mentality of, right, okay, I'm progressing here. Like, I still want to grow just now. I've started prep, yeah, I'm getting leaner, cool, but I've still got an opportunity to grow here. When I'm like, say, 16, 17, 18 weeks in, I won't have that opportunity anymore to grow, because my food will be pretty low, my recovery might not be at its absolute peak because I'm in like high steps, high cardio, low food, whatever, right? I won't then have that opportunity to keep growing. But just now, because I'm so early on, I mean, 6 weeks in, like, it's not early, but it is pretty early in a prep, you know what I mean? Like, I've definitely got the opportunity every session to keep growing. And as far as I'm concerned, like, I wouldn't say, even me at peak bulk, that was not me at my biggest. Probably my biggest in terms of like fatness and like scale weight, obviously, but in terms of like muscle mass, like, nah, I'm going to make sure when I step on stage that I have more muscle then than I did at peak bulk, because I'm going to make sure that I'm definitely growing throughout prep. Because it definitely is possible. Like, there's no way that it's not possible. If you're getting stronger, you're recovering well, you're eating your meals at good times, all that kind of stuff, like, it's definitely possible to continue growing. So, moral of the story, do not go into your sessions pure half-arsing them, sitting thinking, all right, okay, I'm guaranteed to regress here, or I'm definitely going to lose muscle mass, because if you do, then you will. Simple as that. Okay, there's your TED talk for the day, me telling you off for half-arsing your sessions pretty much. But aye, as I said, upper ticked off, and we are still ticking over very nicely with no complaints, to be honest. My plan is now to actually go to the fort with Douglas, where we're going to go for a walk. But he's wanting to get, I don't know what he's wanting to get actually, he said something, but I forgot what it is now. Don't know, it'll come to me at some point when I'm not on the camera, obviously. But I'm going to jump into Zara again, because I seen some nice sweatshirts last time round, but they weren't in my size when I was there. They only had extra large. I'm just a large. I was going to say I'm a double XL, but I'm definitely not. I'm a large, and they only had XL or medium, and medium was too tight, extra large was too baggy. I was like, typical, man. So going to go in, hopefully get a wee large number. And that'll be my day ticked off pretty much. So I hope you have enjoyed, and apart from that, I'll catch you in the next one.